Imagine this. You overhear someone spreading a libeled, deliberate, and deeply unfair about someone you care about. Your heart races. You know it's wrong. But then the question arises, do I speak up or stay silent? Stoicism, the ancient philosophy of inner peace and virtue, is often associated with silence, calm restraint, emotional discipline, and measured speech. But that doesn't mean staying quiet is always the right path. The Stoics didn't preach passivity. In fact, they urged us to act when virtue, justice, and truth are at stake. In this video, we'll explore 10 powerful situations where silence isn't a virtue, it's something to overcome. These moments challenge us to speak, act, and live in accordance with Stoic ideals. 1. When your integrity is on the line. Integrity isn't a luxury in Stoicism, it's the very foundation of the virtuous life. Marcus Aurelius didn't tell us to be liked, he told us to be good. To live truthfully, even when no one is watching. When someone misrepresents you, distorting your intentions, spreading lies, questioning your character, staying silent may feel like the easier path. But that silence allows others to define your story. Imagine being accused of taking credit for someone else's work. You could let it slide to avoid tension. But what does that teach others about your values? What does it teach you? The Stoic answer is clear. Integrity demands truth, even when truth is uncomfortable. To remain silent in moments of misrepresentation isn't Stoicism, it's self-betrayal. 2. When others are facing injustice. The Stoics believed we're not isolated beings, we're citizens of the world, bound by duty to one another. Justice wasn't just a nice concept to them, it was essential. So when we witness injustice and choose silence, we enable harm. Whether it's a colleague being unfairly targeted, a community being marginalized, or a stranger being humiliated, silence becomes complicity. Seneca wrote, "He who does not prevent a crime when he can, encourages it." You may not always be able to stop an injustice, but your voice, your objection, can make a difference. Silence, in this context, is not peace. It's quiet approval. 3. When you have the opportunity to teach or share wisdom. The Stoics held wisdom as one of the highest virtues, but it wasn't something to hoard like treasure. Wisdom was meant to be shared to uplift others, to guide, to illuminate. Let's say you've discovered a way to manage stress or anxiety through Stoic techniques. Perhaps it's journaling, the dichotomy of control, or the practice of voluntary discomfort. A friend struggles with the same burden, and you say not afraid to sound preachy or unsure it would help. But what if it would? What if your voice could ease someone's suffering? Epictetus reminded us, don't just explain your philosophy, embody it. Teaching through word and action isn't arrogance, it's service. Sharing hard-earned lessons is one of the most generous things you can do. 4. When silence enables toxicity. Toxicity doesn't always arrive with a bang. Often, it seeps in quietly through gossip, passive aggression, subtle cruelty. It thrives, not because people approve, but because no one speaks out. We tell ourselves we're being neutral, that it's better not to get involved. But neutrality in the presence of harm is not neutrality, it's permission. If a workplace or friend group is growing poisonous, your silence feeds the roots. A Stoic would set boundaries, calmly and firmly, not to judge but to protect the space where virtue can grow. True harmony isn't the absence of conflict, it's the presence of integrity. 5. When it's time to stand up for what's right. Courage is a cardinal Stoic, virtue equal to wisdom, justice, and temperance. And courage often means using your voice when it would be easier not to. Consider moments when your core values are under pressure, whether it's a policy that goes against your ethics, a leader abusing power, or even your own past mistake resurfacing. The easy path is silence. The Stoic path is action. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." But sometimes, what's right and true requires being said aloud, clearly and courageously. 6. When your silence would mislead others. There's a misconception that silence is always neutral, but silence can also deceive. Picture a meeting where a flawed idea is gaining momentum. You see the error, but saying something might ruffle feathers, so you say nothing. The group moves forward toward a mistake you could have prevented. The Stoic obligation to truth isn't just about honesty in speech. It's also about not allowing a lie through omission. When your silence could lead others to false conclusions, speaking up is not only responsible, it's required. 7. When you're swallowing resentment. Emotional restraint is not emotional repression. Stoicism teaches us to confront emotion with reason, not to bury it. If a friend constantly disrespects your time or a partner crosses boundaries, and you say nothing for the sake of peace, you're not avoiding conflict, you're delaying it. Worse, you're allowing bitterness to grow. Over time, resentment hardens, the relationship suffers, and your soul bears the weight of unspoken frustration. Instead, a Stoic response would be to address the issue directly with calm, clarity, and compassion. Speaking isn't weakness, it's care in action. 8. When leadership requires your voice. Leadership isn't about control, it's about responsibility. And with responsibility comes the duty to guide. Whether you're a parent, mentor, manager, or simply someone others look to, your silence has weight. If you withhold feedback, support, or direction because it's awkward or uncomfortable, you may be failing the very people who count on you. Seneca wrote, "To rule is to serve." And service often demands clarity, honesty, and courageous speech. Helping someone grow even if the truth stings us, a deeply Stoic act. 9. When history needs witnesses. We often imagine Stoics as quiet individuals, stoically enduring hardship. But history shows us that many Stoics spoke. They wrote, protested, and exposed corruption. When you witness something that violates justice or dignity, your silence can erase the truth. Think of whistleblowers, journalists, and everyday people who risk their safety to reveal injustice. Their refusal to be silent isn't ego, it's allegiance to truth. Marcus Aurelius said, "The truth is like a lion, you don't have to defend it. Let it loose, it will defend itself. But someone still has to open the cage." 10. When your soul demands to speak. Sometimes the most powerful reason to speak isn't logic or justice. It's a whisper from your own soul. You feel it when you stay silent and something aches inside. Maybe it's unspoken love, or the need to admit a mistake, or to tell someone, "This hurt me." Epictetus taught us not just to think about philosophy, but to live it. And sometimes that means stepping forward and saying, "This is who I am. This is what I believe. This is my truth." These aren't emotional outbursts. They're moments of radical honesty. And that's what Stoicism, at its best, is about. Stoicism is not a vow of silence. It's a practice of wise speech. Sometimes, virtue requires restraint. But other times, silence becomes a cagione we build ourselves. So the next time you find yourself hesitating, ask, am I staying quiet because it's wiser, because it's easy? Will my silence protect virtue or prevent it? What does my conscience ask of me right now? Speak with purpose. Stay silent with intention. Live with integrity. If this message spoke to you, leave a comment below. When did your voice make a difference? When did silence feel like betrayal? Like, subscribe, and continue the journey with us. May your voice always serve truth, and may your silence always be chosen with wisdom.